Hello folks, hope you're all well. Okay, today we're going to look at making a banana cake, classic of lockdown, and if you've not made one yet, now is your chance. So you're going to need some very basic ingredients. You should have them in your store cupboard. If not, then you need to make sure you've got them. Key ingredient, bananas, obviously. Try and make sure it's very ripe, and you can tell that by how black it is going around the edge. The more black there is, the sweeter the banana, the nicer the cake. Okay, so if you still got some yellow bananas, wait a day or two. Okay, you're going to need soft butter, 140 grams. You're going to need 140 grams of self-raising flour, and in there I've put 1 heaped teaspoon of baking powder because it helps the cake rise. You're also going to need 140 grams of caster sugar. I've got golden caster sugar, white is fine. You're also going to need 2 large eggs, which I have beaten up already, ready to go, and that's pretty much all you're going to need for this. You can alter this recipe slightly. You can put in a handful of chopped nuts, hazelnuts, Brazil nuts, stuff like that, about 50 grams, okay? And you can put chocolate in there as well, some chocolate chips. 50 to 100 grams of chocolate chips is really nice if you mix this into the batter and then put it into and then just bake it as normal. It really goes well with the banana. This is just going to be a simple banana cake today. So with your banana, to get it prepped, with the camera down so you can see, all you've got to do, peel it, and then simply, back of a fork, mash it into a slight puree. And as the riper the banana, the easier this is, okay? All you're going to do is just mash it up, do both. And that is your ingredients prepped. As well as that, you need to get your baking tray, baking tin lined. So you're going to use a loaf tin for this. So one that looks like that. If you just got a normal cake tin, a circular one, that'll be fine as well, but the cooking time is going to change. You also need some greaseproof paper. A little tip to line a tin like this. Scrumple it up. Really scrumple it up. It stops it doing that weird thing and just makes it do what you want. It makes it mouldable. Then undo it. And then just place it right into the tray, right at the corners, and fold it round the sides. Make sure it goes over the edge, but you'll find if you scrumple it up first, this is a very simple job. If you don't, you're going to have a little bit of a problem doing it. So as long as you've got something like that, good to go, you're ready. Okay, so making it is very simple. You're going to start off with, in your bowl, you need your softened butter and your caster sugar, and we're going to carry out the creaming method for this. Okay, so we're going to cream it together till it's nice and light and soft. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, you can do it with a wooden spoon and beat it up. So get yourself one of those, or if you're a little bit lazy, you can use like me, you can use an electric hand whisk, which simplifies the job so much easier. So simply get your hand whisk in. And it's going to take a couple of minutes until all the sugar and the butter is combined. And you've got a creamy mixture. This is incorporating air into it. Get to the sides as well. And there we go, very simple, very quick. Okay, so now you're going to have to use the old trusty wooden spoon for the next stage, because you're going to need to incorporate in. So my advice to you now, just straight down the sides, just make sure all the sugar's incorporated in, all the butter's being mixed in, and you've got a nice mixture that looks a bit like that. Okay, so now we're going to add the egg a little bit at a time, and this might split. If it does, don't worry. So a little bit at a time, and then just stir it in. Do not panic if it starts to look like it's split. The next stage will correct it. If you use an electric whisker for this, it probably won't split, but if you do it by hand, unless you put some real force, chances are it will split. Mine has started just ever so slightly. I'm not bothered about it because I'm going to sort it out in a minute. Add a bit more of the egg and keep continuing. We've got a nice loose mixture. So the rest of the egg goes in. Alright, so I'm quite glad this has happened, because it means I can show you. So that means your mixture is split, okay? Nothing wrong with it, do not panic, because the next stage will correct it, and you just need to add flour. So, the flour and the baking powder, we're going to add that in a little bit at a time, and we're just going to fold it in, and by fold it, we're going to draw a figure 8, okay? Just gently, because you don't want to beat all the air out. Just scrape down the sides, just gently mix it in a little bit at a time. A little bit more. If you add too much in at once, it will knock the air out, and you don't want to do that. It'll make your cake nice and light. Just keep mixing it. Scrape the sides, draw it 8, and you'll see your mixture returns to a normal batter. A little bit more. To finish off the last little bit. And there you go. So you'll see, because you incorporate the flour, your mixture is no longer splitting. Okay, it looks like normal cake batter. So again, don't panic if it does split. As you can see, mine did, not a problem. That's what it should look like now. Okay, now we're going to incorporate the banana. So we've got 2 mashed bananas there. You can put it all in. Okay, and then just gently mix it together. If I haven't already told you, your oven should be on. Okay, 180 degrees for a normal oven, 160 degrees for a fan, and gas mark 4. This should be standard practice when you're baking. Preheat your oven always. And there we go. There's your banana cake mixture. Okay, this is the point where you add what you want to add into it. If you want to add some chocolate in there, you can. If you want to add some chopped up nuts, such as some almonds or Brazil nut or hazelnut, you can. Put just a handful in. If the nuts chop them up a little bit, stir them in, job done. That's all you need to do. And the chocolate is really nice, but that's what your mixture should look like, ready to go into the tin. Okay, so I've got my tin. Okay, I've got a mixture, and I've also got, this is optional, you don't need to do this, some dark brown sugar. This is I'm going to sprinkle over the top of it. That's a little finishing technique. You make it a little bit crispy. If you haven't got any dark sugar, you can use normal caster sugar. You can try that and sprinkle it over. But if you don't want to, you don't want to. It doesn't really matter. It's just an extra little finishing. You've done the cake part. All right, word about ovens. Every oven is different, okay? Every cake tin is different. This will take varying amounts of time depending on who does it. It's going to take at least 40 minutes, okay? It might take over an hour. It just depends on your oven. So I can't give you accurate cooking times for this because it could change. So what you've got to do after 40 minutes, you're going to make sure you've got yourself some sort of little prodding device, some sort of little skewer that you can insert into the center of the cake, okay? Be very careful, use oven gloves. So place that into the cake. When it comes, if it comes out completely covered in batter, it is not done. All right, put it back in, try again in about 5 to 10 minutes time. When it comes out clean, it's ready. Take the cake out of the oven, okay? All right, all you gotta do now is get everything into the tray. Don't worry about all these little bits there that's gonna change the cake. You don't stress about it. It's quite nice having that like rustic look around the banana cake. So use a metal spoon, don't use your wooden spoon because it's just easier. Get your mixture straight into there. Try and even it out amongst the tin, but don't again stress too much that it is not even, because the first thing the oven is going to do is going to melt your mixture and it will spread and it will fill all the gaps and it will even out, okay? So this is a reminder again, make sure your oven is on. So just going to squash that into the sides. Be very careful, I don't want it to pull out any of the paper. Just going to squash it down a little bit. But I'm not being too overly fussy about it, just so it's reasonably flat. So it looks like that. Okay, and then simply get that in the oven. Like I said, at least 40 minutes. Check it every 5 to 10 minutes after that. Use one of these or something similar. A knife, if you haven't even got one of those, a knife will do fine. When it's clean, it's done. Okay, so my cake took about 55 minutes to do. So like I say, 40 minutes, then check it over and over until it is done and it comes out, and one of these comes out nice and clean. Okay, then get yourself a cooling rack, leave it in the tin once it comes out of the oven for about 10 minutes just to let it settle, and just gently, you should just be able to pull it out and gently pull away the greaseproof paper from the side of your cake. You can see you've got all those rough edges, but you know, it just adds to the appeal of it. Very, very gently, I mean gently, just prise away the bottom. This is why you let it cool so you can handle it, and then place it onto the cooling rack just to cool. Not the most good looking of cakes, but you know, all the best things are usually. Okay, so there you go. There is simple banana bread. You can do what you like with it now. You can make some butter, you could make some cream cheese frosting and spread it on there. You could drizzle it with honey and then put some banana chips on there, or you can just leave it as it is. It's entirely up to you. Just cut off slices and eat it. Really nice with custard, really nice warm with ice cream as well. So entirely your call. Enjoy.